Hey guys, Cosmic Calderon bringing you another semi-League of Legends related video. So this video is going to be kind of more of a talk about myself currently and where I'm at. So it's going to be it might be boring, it might not be y'all's type of video to watch or anything, but so one of the biggest things that I've been going through recently was I had ambition to try to become a League of Legends content maker pro at one point because I thought I could do it easily. For any of you that watch this and don't know anything about me, when I was about 14 years old, I qualified to be one of the best Halo players in the world. I was ridiculously good at that game. I put so many hours into it. I mean, I barely ever lost a game. And when I did lose a game, it was because people on my team left, and it would be me versus everybody, or it'd be me versus everybody else, or everybody else on the opposing team opposed to their good player would leave, and that became hard because now I have to kill one guy 50 times when he has to kill 5 people 10 times each. Ratios like that made it harder. But when I was about 15, 16, a friend of mine introduced me to League of Legends. Probably about 15. My buddy introduced me to League of Legends, told me, hey, you need to try this game out, dude, it's a lot of fun. So I started playing it, and I ditched any ambitions I had towards Halo. I didn't immediately jump onto this, I'm going to play League and become pro at it. I just liked it because it was something different. It still compared my own individual skill, but it allowed me to rely on teammates. And at the time, I had a good group of friends who I thought were really, really good at the game. They were silver, and this was season 2. So, in hindsight, the bad people in season 2 were the bronze people, or the people that couldn't make ELO to get a border or a title, which was me. I couldn't do that. I wasn't, for one, most of season 2, I didn't get ranked. I didn't get to level 30, and I didn't play ranked when I did. And then I got into rank. Season 3, I got into rank, and I thought I was good. I was not very good. And season 4, I gotten better. And then last season, I'm easily, right now I'm at the peak of my play in how I play and how good I am, and what champions are good right now are champions that I love to play and I put a lot of effort into becoming good at. Now there was some problems I faced throughout my league journey, and one of them ended up being the fact that, I've come to recognize that I'm not going to be a pro. Or I'm most likely not going to be. If I become a pro, I'm going to be ecstatic about it. It's one of those great moments. I put all this effort into this game, and I have the chance to go pro at a different game other than Halo, because Halo, there wasn't money in it, and I was too young. I was a freshman in high school, and my parents wouldn't let me leave to go play video games as a profession, especially one that didn't have any reputable tournaments for it. Like, the biggest tournament I went to, I won $100 and something. There was a total of 15 people. Like, that was a huge turnout for that game for us. And I played League. And so now I've played League for almost 5 years now. I started a little bit late into Season 1. Season 2 is really where I played a lot, and so on and so forth. And I've not really taken many breaks from League. This has practically become my life. I've gone through a lot of things growing up. So my brother has cerebral palsy, and this is just something about me to give you a little background to who I am a little bit more. So my brother is technically a quadriplegic. He can use his hands to a certain degree, but he's not got the dexterity to really do any really skillful tasks with them, and he can't walk. And I'm his younger brother. If I was his older brother, I accept that, that thing of, I have to take care of him. He's my brother, I have to take care of him. You grow up learning, older brothers are supposed to look out for younger brothers, and, you're supposed to learn from them, and I couldn't do that. I was his teacher. I was born in younger than him, and he relied on me to teach him and be there for him. I had a lot of traumatic events as a kid. My grandfather died in front of me, so that shocked me and hurt me a bit. My brother didn't have any bullies. Everybody loved Cody. His name's Cody. A lot of people love him. He's a kid in a wheelchair, and he was always smiling, always nice. He always had face out in public, and people loved him. People didn't love me growing up. I never got as much affection and care from people as he did. I had my niche group of friends, like maybe one, two people that even cared about me. And then a lot of them were military. The city I live in is a military city. We live in Air Force primarily, and people move, and so I'd lose those group of friends, and then we moved, and I lived in Massachusetts for a while, where I only got again two, three friends, and I got beaten up a lot, and I at this point I hadn't become addicted to video games. I hadn't become a video gamer, and I was also a really small kid, so I mean there was nothing. I had no self confidence growing up, and a couple of people that wanted to be my friends only wanted to be my friends because they thought Cody was cool, and then they didn't like me in the end, and they faked it because they thought Cody was a cool kid. It always made me feel bad about myself. And then video games became that thing for me where, I'm good at this game. I'm going to make a living on this. This is where I'm going to be me. I'm going to have people that like me for being me. I also thought that I was going to be, I was going to be someone. This is where I'm going to, oddly enough, I craved that wanting to be famous at something. I wanted to stand out. Because even though my brother couldn't do much, and my brother wasn't, that older brother that always made a name for himself, where people, you have to live up to that reputation, I had to live knowing that everybody thought Cody was this amazing kid, and I was just me. Even family members spent more time, praising Cody and liking what Cody did. And I got little acknowledgement. I mean, up until I got a little older, high school was really only where I got acknowledgement, and by then, I'd been known as a smart kid, and I got made fun of it my entire life for being the nerd, being the smart kid. For a while, my dad didn't acknowledge me as, being anything other than, I mean, of course I'm his son and everything, but he never showed that he was proud of me. He never said, my son did this or bragged about me. I had two cousins on his side of the family that he bragged about all the time. And, he had some issues. I had some issues. I've had a lot of issues in the past with my father. And all of this has shaped me into who I am. But unfortunately, it has made me acknowledge some things about myself. As I got older, I didn't grow into an adult like I thought I would. I didn't think I always thought that, I was going to become this immediately successful person. Like I'd excel at college. I get a free ride to college because I'm this really smart guy. I got to high school. My high school went pretty weird. All my fellow classmates thought I was top of the class. No one realized how low in the class ranking I really was. I excelled at all my tests, like everything. I did everything well. I sucked at Latin, but I'm just not good at learning new languages. That was just something I was never good at. Some maths I was pretty bad at too, but I love math. For the most part, math has been my easy subject. History's been the easiest, and English right after that. I excelled at all those classes. Problem was, I was lazy. I'd grown really complacent with how smart I was. Elementary, middle school, those aren't really tests of your intelligence. It's how well do you, in Texas at least, it's how well do you stick with the class and how do you excel past them. Good for you, but we're not going to tailor anything for you to become smarter. And then you get to high school and it becomes a competition. And I went to a very specific school. It was a magnet school for intelligent kids that were thinking about becoming health personnel. You're looking for a job in health careers, and that was the name of our school. Actually, it's Health Careers, but it was a very competitive school. And at this point, this is my first time running into other people that are extremely intelligent and care about their grades. And my first year, I did horrible at biology and did horrible at geometry. Geometry, I just never grasped the idea of it. I don't know what it was. Something about doing math and shapes just screwed me up. I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. It really isn't that hard of a subject looking back now, but at the time I just couldn't do it. Biology, I was great at the class. Teacher loved me. I aced homework, I aced the tests, and I aced classwork. But we had lab reports. And up until this point, all I did for writing was writing stuff for English class, and writing creative works that I enjoyed. Like I liked writing poetry and short stories that were all creative and fictional. Now I have to sit down and write this very detailed report about something that's not fictional. This is something that actually happened, and something that's, I'm not researching anything. I'm doing whatever I found in the study. So our study was what do you do in class? And I was just not that type of person. I couldn't put to paper what we did more than maybe 2-3 pages, and she wanted 14-page lab reports on every detail of everything that I did, which all I had to do was write 14 pages of jargon and have 2-3 paragraphs of actual detailed work, and I would have been fine. But I just couldn't do that. That was something I just couldn't physically do, and I got in a lot of trouble for it. But that was a big part of my grade, so I barely passed both that and geometry. And that's where it hit me that I'm not the smart kid anymore. I'm me, but who was me? And again, I leaned on video games. This is where I really became addicted to video games, and I was starting to fall out in Halo. Like, a couple of my buddies were moving on, and they were a bit older than me, and they were starting to graduate high school, and they were starting to become adults. And then I started getting older, and I got into my senior year, and I haven't had a job yet. I don't drive. I don't do the stuff kids are supposed to do at my age. I graduated, and I didn't get into my college. I was not high enough in my class. I missed it by like 4 people, got put on a waiting list, and never got called back. Never got an email, nothing, heard nothing. It was the only school I had gotten any scholarships for, too, because I didn't bother applying anywhere else. Everywhere else said you needed to have this GPA and this high up in your class. I'd apply to them, and they said no. So I stopped applying anywhere. I applied for 5 scholarships outside of scholarships specific to that college, which will remain nameless for now. It was an out-of-state college. It was going to be expensive, but I'd gotten accepted so many scholarships that I had to put towards that school or use in the state that I had applied for. And I'd had enough that I would cover at least 1 year of school there, and then I didn't get in. So I had to go to community college. And I started it, and I realized it's just going to be another 4 years of blending in and doing work that I don't care about, which is where I realized my life is going to be that way unless I could do something about it. So I tried my ass off. When I wasn't at school, I was here playing League of Legends. And while I was doing school, I didn't have to have a job. My parents were all, my father, my stepfather, my mother, were all content with this. Like, they're, you know what, you're doing school, you're working on school. As long as you're passing school and going to school, you're fine. You can do what you want to do. You don't need that job. We'll put you on an allowance and you'll be fine. Last semester, I screwed up. I paid for it by myself. Summer, I did a summer job on my own because that was asked for by me. They asked me to do it, and I wanted some extra spending money anyways. So I did a job, and school comes around, and I can't balance them both, and I messed up, and so I quit my job to try to work on school. Got into a crowd of friends where it was more or less just to hang out with my friends opposed to go to class. I paid for the semester. I didn't feel bad about it. I mean, yeah, I felt bad. I'm losing my own money, but I'm not wasting other people's money. I'm wasting my money, and I'm wasting my time. And at the time, it just seemed like a good idea. I was just going to go blow it off and go hang out with friends. It was a bad idea. I'm on academic probation, so I can't go back to college. I mean, I don't have a job now. I got a job for 1 month and I got laid off, and now I don't have a job. So my life is going to shit around me, and I'm watching everybody else excel at, becoming adults, and I couldn't do it. I'm not able to do it. And then I realized, the one thing that has been there for me for these past 5 years almost was League of Legends, and I'm not even good enough at it to make a living off it. And I've wasted so much time trying to make this game become something that I can't make it become. And it's rough. It's hard to look at this and think to myself, like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna make it. I mean, because there's most likely, the chance is I'm not gonna do anything with this. I'm not gonna succeed enough at this game, and I'm not gonna make a living off it, and I'm just gonna have wasted my time. My parents don't believe in me. Why should I believe in me at this game? This isn't me quitting, by the way. I'm not leaving League of Legends. I'm not quitting here because of this video. This is just a video I needed to vent. I'm not making this video to get hits or likes. Of course, I'm going to post it everywhere because I want people to watch it just because it's a video that I'm posting. But I wanted it to vent. I wanted to talk about, shit in my life that none of it's gone as I've imagined. And I finally found something that I loved and I became dedicated to. And I can't even make anything out of it right now. I want to thank everybody for watching my videos, and I want to thank you guys again for any of the views that you give me or any of the support I've gotten back from some of you. Even if some of you are just my friends and you're watching them just because you're my friends, I want to thank you. My next podcast, I'm not sure when that's going to be. I need to talk to a couple people. I really want to make it, and I need to make it here soon. Yeah, thanks. But thanks again for everybody that's been watching these videos. If you liked them, make sure to like the video, subscribe to me. In my description, of course, will be my Twitter, my Twitch, and my Facebook. Go ahead and like me on any of those. Follow me on some of those. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to them as fast as possible, which will be like lickety split. As soon as I see it, I'll respond to it. But yeah, thanks again for watching, guys, and have a wonderful day.